All right, everybody, welcome back here. We are starting off our new album review series, kicking it back into some heavy metal gear with Megadeth, one of the big four thrash metal bands. We got this original copy here. And what I love about this too is the sticker says Megadeth, featuring ex-Metallica songwriter and guitarist Dave Mustaine. Really cool little promo sticker on there if you can see it. But yeah, we're gonna kick this thing off going into this. Of course, we all know the story of Dave Mustaine and Metallica. How he became like an alcoholic, and they had to kick him out of the band and all that. So he went off, pissed off, as could be, and got together with Chris Poland on lead guitar. Of course, Dave doing lead guitar as well. David Ellefson from on the bass, incredible bass player, fantastic bass player. And then I guess on the drums here, Gar Sandelson, who I guess they call Rattlehead, where the Vic Rattlehead maybe comes from or whatever. But this came out in '85, so 2 years after Metallica's debut album, Kill 'Em All. There was time in between these two records for people to kind of sit and absorb Metallica's first album and to jump into something like this, which I will say this album is definitely heavier than Metallica's debut album. There's no doubt about that, and it's faster. Does that necessarily mean it's better? I don't know. I would probably say I do prefer Metallica's Kill 'Em All over this, and I would say out of the big four thrash, I would say I prefer Slayer's and Metallica's over this, but I think this blows away Anthrax's debut album by far. But anyways, we'll hop on into it here with the opening track kind of intro deal, Last Rites, which is Dave Mustaine actually playing piano on here. Just a cool little kind of creepy intro that he's got going on there. And then that leads directly into Loved to Death. And this is a really, really freaking good song. This is a fast-paced one that immediately, I can't even imagine, people like, oh, this is going to be what sounded just like Metallica or whatever. Maybe back in the day we're thinking that with that sticker on there. Then they're like, oh, even faster. So it's a, a blast to the face, which is awesome, and a very, very fast track. Chris Poland and Dave Mustaine's chemistry on here, you can already see, and them, just shredding back and forth, doing some awesome riffs. So Love to Death, perfect choice for an opener that really gets people, that'll get you pumped up, and it'll let fans know, or I guess not really fans, because it's their first album, right? But it'll let people know what these guys were all going to be about, coming out of, an ex-Metallica player. And again, you can hear the aggression in here and everything. Which I'll also go ahead and mention the production too. This is a very raw production, which it does fit the album very well. I do think it's, and really, if you look at those big four thrash metal bands, all of their first albums are really raw sounding and everything. But I do think this has one of the weaker productions, at least at times on some of these, compared to Kill 'Em All and like Show No Mercy and such. But again, it does add to its feel though, for sure. Then we go with one of my favorites off here, the title track, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. Love this thing. Such a cool track. You can hear the thick bass going on from David Ellefson, who's making his presence known. Metallica got Cliff, amazing bass player there. Megadeth, got a hold of an amazing bass player themselves with David Ellefson. So, and this one I really like, just the aggression behind this, killing is my business and business is good. I love the kind of melody of it there, and just kind of how it's done. Very, very fast-paced track yet again. That is just, it's an all-time Megadeth classic for sure. And it might just be my favorite off here. If not, it very well might be. I would say this one and maybe another one that we'll look at. But then we'll go with Skull Beneath the Skin, which is one I forgot about. And this one's a really solid one as well. Has a really, again, the bass is really amplified on here and really takes the forefront at some moments. You can really just hear, David just plucking along there. which helps really drive that speed and that just power that these guys were going for. And Skull Beneath the Skin, I mean, that one, again, that's one I forgot about, but I really ended up digging this one. This album, I'll say too, is not one that I've gone back to as much as I have a lot of Megadeth's other discography. But I have gone back to it, and I will say this is probably the time I've enjoyed it most. So, you know, but a very, very cool track there with Skull Beneath the Skin. Then we'll go with the last track on side one, the cover song, These Boots. And, you know, I've heard a lot of people shit on this one or whatever, but, I mean, it's a fun cover. You know, they accomplished their goal of, you know, turning this thing into a thrash track, and they kind of, you know, modified the lyrics to make it a little edgier or whatever. But I think it's a cool cover. They, of course, these guys would go on to do, like, way better covers down the line, and, you know, the mid-'90s and such, but I think These Boots is a cool cover to kind of throw in there as, you know, their first cover song. Then we go on over to side two with Rattlehead. This is another one of the best ones off here, and I kind of forgot how this one went, but man, there's this really, some time changes start really going on in here. You know, there's this moment of just bass going on there, again with David Ellefson, that just really, it's like, damn, this guy is showing off, and he does it on this one. And the drumming, I guess, you know, with Gar Samuelson, or I guess they call him, again, Rattlehead, maybe that's why it was named this track, because, I mean, he's going off on this one for sure. Just thrashing and bashing on that kit back there and going to town. And, yeah, Rattlehead has become one of my favorites for sure. Another one that I kind of forgot about, to be honest. Then we go with Chosen Ones, and this one, I really liked the melody on this one. Another kind of hidden gem on here. I like the pacing of this one. It's just got a really cool song structure for sure. And this one again kind of is, you can see elements of where they would kind of go in their songwriting on this track, and especially this next one with Looking Down the Cross, which might be tied with my favorite. I mean, it's like so freaking close between this one and Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good, because this one, I mean, man, it has this cool kind of lengthier little intro going on, and then kicks right on in. It has those time changes again of some sick soloing going on from Mustaine and Poland together, you know, just shredding this thing about. And the melody on this one is probably the strongest and probably the hookiest melody as far as, you know, the songwriting goes, of what might, you know, be catchy for some people and everything. But I really, really like this one. I forgot just how good this one is. Another gem off here, for sure, that has, again, become one of my favorites, if not my favorite off here. I mean, I'd still maybe say Killing Is My Business. You know, the title track is probably my favorite, but this one is probably just creeping up right behind it. And the one that's kind of creeping up for third place is the last track off here, Mechanics, which, as, you know, if you kind of know the lore here, this is pretty much the same song as Metallica's Four Horsemen off Kill 'Em All, except sped up and faster, shorter, which I do really, really dig the song. I mean, it's one of the best songs off here, for sure. But I do like Four Horsemen better as a song. What I do like about this is how it did speed it up, and, like, just, you know, it just turned up the knob on Four Horsemen. I don't like the lyrics as much as I do on Four Horsemen. You know, it's more about, like, loving a car, loving being a mechanic or whatever. Not quite as interesting as lyrics as, you know, Four Horsemen. But, you know, the song structure is the same. You can hear the melody in there, and you can hear the chorus. You play them things side by side, you know, or go on YouTube, play Four Horsemen, turn the speed up or whatever. You're probably going to hear Mechanics almost exactly right, because, again, Dave wrote pretty much most of, if not, you know, all of, or at least had a hand in on all those songs on Kill 'Em All. So, and I guess this was the one that he chose to kind of bring over. Maybe it was one he was most proud of. I don't know. I mean, he should be, because it's awesome. Love Mechanics. But I do like Metallica's Four Horsemen better. But, you know, this was a great way to close close the album out, and kind of maybe it was meant to be kind of like a fuck you to Metallica or whatever. I don't know, or maybe he just wanted it on here. So amazing track for sure, and an awesome debut album. I mean, again, I do think Slayer's debut and Metallica's debut are stronger, but much like Slayer and Metallica and Anthrax, even, you know, since we're talking about the big four of thrash, these guys would kick it up a notch and really refine their sound on, you know, on the next record, which we'll talk about, you know, Peace Sells, but Who's Buying. But and it's very interesting to see kind of how all the big four kind of had that same trajectory in their careers at first, going from these really raw, nasty, you know, albums, which are awesome, but then kind of really refine themselves coming up on those next records. And then it just, you could really, they all saw very similar evolutions for sure, which, you know, we've already reviewed Metallica and Slayer stuff. So we're going to see that going on again here when we're looking through Megadeth's discography. But yeah, this is an awesome album. This is probably my, the most I've liked it ever. You know, this recent listen has been the one that's really grabbed me in most, and I've grown to appreciate it more, you know, as the years have gone by. So this is, I'm glad to say that this one, whereas it was one I didn't maybe come back to very often for these guys, I mean, because they have such an awesome and really big discography, maybe I'll revisit this one a little bit more now after this recent listen. So, but anyways, guys, yeah, I'm super pumped to be talking about Megadeth. And next time we're going to look at their second album, Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? Of course, those first three albums have all them little dots in there. That bugs me as far as like cataloging and stuff goes, or writing down like a list of ranking, having all that punctuation stuff in there. But anyways, side note. But yeah, super pumped. Looking forward to going through these guys, and it'll be very interesting to see which ones kind of land as my favorite, because quite frankly, I'm going into this one, I'm torn on quite a few albums that could possibly be my favorite going in the discography. So revisiting these and running through them and checking them out with you guys is going to be beneficial for me as well, helping me decide as to what my favorite Megadeth record might be. So anyways, guys, talk about your experiences with this debut record of Megadeth, and stay tuned for next time when we talk about Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? Thanks.